In a busy city in America, there was a new company called Greenlight Tech. The company was started to help people use less energy at home. Many families could not pay high energy bills, so Greenlight Tech wanted to bring change. From the beginning, people in the company noticed a big problem. They could not work well together. The team had people from different places, like Jake from Texas, Maria from California, and Tom from Ohio. Each person had great ideas, but they did not know how to listen to one another. Often, Jake liked to talk fast in meetings. Maria wanted to take more time to think and explain her plans. Tom came up with new ideas, but he did not always share them. The team would argue, and nobody could agree on what to do first. As days passed, the team grew more stressed. Important projects were late. Sometimes, when Maria sent an email to Jake, he did not answer for 2 days. Tom missed some meetings because he thought his ideas did not matter. People even started to talk behind each other's backs. One day, the company almost lost a big client because everyone tried to solve a problem alone, and nobody told the others. This struggle made life hard at work. It also showed a bigger challenge many people around the world face: lack of good communication, especially in new businesses. Individuals suffered, feeling left out or not taken seriously. News stories from other cities showed it was not just a problem for Greenlight Tech. Businesses everywhere lost money and time because their teams did not talk or work together well. Even schools and community groups experienced the same trouble. These stories mattered because when people do not communicate, it is tough to make things better for everyone. People started to realize that learning how to listen and share ideas could help teams do more and help entire neighborhoods become stronger. If Greenlight Tech could find a way to fix its communication, the team could save energy, help more families, and maybe inspire others to work together too. At Greenlight Tech, things did not get better right away. The team still found it hard to talk and work together. Jake, Maria, and Tom all tried to do their best, but simple tasks became very hard. Sometimes, Jake would finish his work without showing anyone else. He thought, "If I am fast, I can help everyone." But when he sent his work to the team, Maria and Tom felt like he didn't care about their ideas. Maria started to feel small and less important. She doubted herself and wondered if maybe the team did not need her thoughts. Tom also felt nervous. He remembered another job where his ideas were ignored. So now, he spoke up even less. Every meeting felt awkward. Everybody wanted to help, but nobody really knew how. The problem was not just about one company. In other businesses, families, and even schools, people felt alone for the same reasons. Some people said, "It is quicker to do things myself." Others thought, "No one understands me anyway." Over time, these thoughts became habits. In many parts of society, people learned to avoid sharing their true feelings or ideas. In some jobs, bosses liked workers who finished tasks by themselves and did not ask questions. This made people believe they should not speak up, especially if they were new or from different backgrounds. There were bigger reasons behind these struggles. For many years, some companies and schools taught that speaking loudly was the only way to be heard. People who were quieter or slower to answer got left out. This made teams and groups less creative, because only a few voices decided everything. The ones who talked the most, like Jake, got their way, while others, like Maria and Tom, felt left out. People who did not feel welcomed often quit or stopped trying. The company would lose good workers, families would stop talking, and schools would have students who did not join in class. Only a small group of people stayed in charge, and everything stayed the same. This problem showed up in homes too. Juanita, a mother in a small town, tried to talk with her daughter every night. But work made her tired, and sometimes she raised her voice when things went wrong. Her daughter, Emily, stopped sharing her feelings. Soon, there was silence at dinner. The same thing was happening in Greenlight Tech's team. People started to keep secrets and work alone. The team could not finish big projects because being together felt too hard. Some people and groups did not mind the old way. The loudest people at work liked when their ideas came first. Bosses who liked quick answers were happy when nobody asked for help. These people benefited from the system. They got more attention and moved up to better jobs. But weaker voices lost out. Families and teams fell apart because important feelings and ideas stayed hidden. The struggle was everywhere. People knew they needed to change. Jake watched a news story about a company where teamwork was strong. Everyone shared ideas, mistakes, and questions openly. That company helped more people. At Greenlight Tech, Jake, Maria, and Tom wondered if there could be another way for them. But change seemed scary. They worried. What if I try and I fail? Maria wrote her thoughts in a notebook, but felt too shy to share. Tom wanted to speak, but thought no one would listen. Still, deep down, all three wanted to feel heard and respected. They just needed courage to take the first step. Everywhere, other families and groups faced the same fear, a quiet hope growing under doubts and old habits. In big cities, small towns, schools, homes, and companies, more people dreamed about better ways to talk and work together, but did not know where to begin. At Greenlight Tech, the feeling of being stuck was strong. Each day, the team tried to do better, but change was hard for everyone. When Jake first suggested holding a team meeting where everyone had 2 minutes to share their ideas without interruption, some people rolled their eyes. Tom worried that people would not take his thoughts seriously. Maria felt nervous, but hoped it would help. Despite these worries, they gave it a try. At the meeting, everyone spoke up, even the quiet workers. For the first time, Maria talked about her plan to help families save money on energy bills using smart sensors. The team listened, and Jake said, "That's a good idea." Tom soon shared a simple way to make their app easier to use. It was a small moment, but it felt special. The team felt proud and started to believe that maybe things could get better. But outside the team, there were still many people and things working against change. Some managers in other companies didn't want to give up control to their workers. They were used to having all decisions made by the boss. These managers believed, if we let everyone talk, nothing will get done. Even in the news, business experts sometimes warned that too much talking was a waste of time and money. Some workers were afraid too. They worried that if they spoke up with a new idea or question, their boss might get upset or they might lose their job. Old habits and fears held back many good changes. One afternoon, Greenlight Tech invited Dr. Michael Turner, a well-known expert in teamwork and business change, to talk with the employees. Dr. Turner was friendly and easy to understand. He explained that for many years, companies lost good workers and failed because teams did not talk and listen. People who feel safe sharing their ideas, he said, are more creative. Together, they can solve bigger problems. He shared a story about a company in New York. At first, only the boss made choices. But after the workers started sharing ideas in group talks, sales increased and workers felt happier at work. Dr. Turner gave a simple tool called listening circles. Everyone sits in a circle, takes a turn to speak, and repeats someone else's idea to show they understood. Maria and Jake liked the idea, but Tom was still unsure it could work for them. Some managers in the city thought Dr. Turner's advice was too different. They did not want to risk trying new ways and failing. Political leaders sometimes spoke on the news about needing strong leadership, which meant the boss was always in charge. Even some workers did not like change and wanted to keep their jobs safe by staying quiet. Still, after Dr. Turner left, the people in Greenlight Tech tried the listening circle idea the following morning. They sat together and talked, each person repeating the last speaker's main point before sharing their own. For many, it was the first time they felt truly heard. Soon, something exciting happened. Productivity slowly started to go up. People turned in their projects on time. Friendly smiles and nods replaced frowns in meetings. Tom shared an idea to solve an app problem, and Maria gave him praise. Jake admitted he sometimes talked too much, and he thanked his team for helping him learn. Other teams in the building heard about these small changes and wanted to try too. It was not easy. Some people outside the team thought these new ideas were just a waste of time. Newspaper articles argued about whether sharing power with everyone was good for business. But families who learned about the listening circle at home found that their kids started to talk more at dinner. Parents felt less angry and more patient. Even though not everyone believed in change, the people who tried the new ideas saw the beginning of something better. The small wins helped everyone feel more hopeful. Each success made the team's confidence grow a little more, giving them courage to keep trying, no matter what others outside believed. One morning, Greenlight Tech faced its hardest trial yet. A local newspaper printed a long story about energy problems in the city, saying many families could not afford high bills and new technology. The article named Greenlight Tech as one company that promised to help but had not made enough change. Reporters visited the company's office, asking questions. Some stories on TV and social media also talked about the slow progress and the struggles inside the company. Many people in the city started to doubt if Greenlight Tech could really fix things, or if they were just like all the others before them. The company's workers felt heavy pressure. Jake worried about how this news might hurt their dreams. Maria was scared the business might close if they lost trust. Tom felt angry because he knew people were finally working together and trying their best, but the world could not see these small wins. The city government joined the conversation, saying they would help all companies who could show real results in lowering energy use. People at City Hall said the time for waiting was over. New plans and real teamwork were needed right now. Many groups in the city, like parents, business owners, and students, began talking online and at public meetings. Some were hopeful, but others thought real change was impossible. The news story about struggling families and lost hope spread quickly online. Soon, a video post showed a mother talking about cold nights because her electricity was shut off, and people across the city felt shocked and sad. Under the video, many wrote comments demanding change. At the same time, some doubted all technology companies and repeated old fears. This is too hard. People will never work together. Or, the leaders will just make it worse. Protests began outside City Hall. People carried signs demanding action from the energy industry, and new ideas from businesses like Greenlight Tech pictures and posts went from person to person, and a strong movement grew. The need for honest teamwork, real solutions, and true listening became the #1 topic in the city. Inside Greenlight Tech, the workers watched the city's mood shift around them like a strong wind. The leaders called for a big meeting, inviting every employee to share ideas for a bold, new plan that could show everyone they were serious. This was scary. The team needed to talk openly, face their doubts, and work together like never before. Dr. Michael Turner, the expert, joined by video call. He praised their first steps, but pushed them to share bolder stories of change and prove with facts how teamwork made real results. The workers started listing what they had already done. They counted families now using sensors to save money, and shared stories from parents and children who finally felt understood after the team's listening circle sessions. Maria shared her dream about a city where no house stayed dark at night. The team worked late into the evening. For the first time, everyone listened, planned, and wrote every voice into their big plan. Jake admitted he once wanted to give up, but now he saw hope in the group's eyes. They prepared a public event to share their ideas and progress with the city. On the day of the big event, TV cameras, neighbors, and city officials gathered to see if Greenlight Tech could make good on their promises. Public opinion was all eyes and waiting hearts, not just to see new technology, but to witness if honest teamwork and listening could light a city's future. The moment felt both frightening and full of promise, with the whole community hoping for a sign that change truly was possible. The day of the public event arrived, and Greenlight Tech's office buzzed with excitement and worry. People from across the city filled the hall, talking in low voices and waiting to see if this team could really make a difference. Journalists carried cameras, ready for a big story. The city mayor sat near the front row, and signs from families and business owners filled the back. Everyone wanted to know if this company, once full of arguments and trouble, had found a way to bring real help. Maria took a deep breath and stepped on stage first. Her voice shook at first, but she spoke clearly about problems facing families who could not pay their energy bills. She shared a story about Mrs. Jenkins, an older woman who often sat in the dark to save money. Maria explained how their new smart sensor saved energy in Mrs. Jenkins's home and lowered her bill enough for her to keep the lights on. Tom followed and talked simply about teamwork. He said their listening circles changed the way people work together, both inside the company and at home. Jake admitted the team made mistakes before when they did not listen, but now they helped each other grow strong. The room went quiet as the team showed pictures of happy families, warm homes, and even children doing homework under soft lights. During this time, not everyone was cheering. Some business owners doubted these changes would last. A few voiced anger, asking tough questions about costs, mistakes, and bad choices from the past. One father even argued that new technology could leave some poor families behind. The mayor asked the team to prove it was not just good talk. Jake, feeling the weight of every eye on him, gave hard numbers. He showed how, since trying listening circles and group work, the company helped 100 families reduce bills and heard from many more hoping for help. He opened the floor for questions, and the team answered them simply and without fear, even when voices grew loud. Outside the building, news of the event spread fast. Social media filled with videos and comments. Some people cheered for the company's courage, while others called it just a show. A few critics used strong words, but many citizens began to talk with hope again. They saw neighbors visiting each other and asking for solutions together. Protests outside City Hall slowly changed as people joined group talks, sharing ideas on how to help even more families. The city council quickly called a meeting, and in a rare burst of action, passed a new rule. All companies using city money must show real teamwork and listen to their workers' voices. Maria, Jake, and Tom felt exhausted but stronger. The moment was not just a win for their company, but a signal that change was possible everywhere. Families who once felt left out now saw leaders answering their questions and using their ideas to build plans. The balance of power started to change. Bosses began meeting with workers. New leaders and other businesses called Greenlight Tech for advice. Schools invited team members to talk about what they had learned. Even the mayor thanked the workers, shaking hands and promising to invite more voices when making city decisions. The news showed pictures of people holding signs that read, "We change by listening," and "Together starts today." Across the city, something new was growing. People saw that real change was not just about the newest technology, but about joining together and respecting every voice. Those who once doubted or stayed silent now felt that, maybe for the first time, they truly mattered. This moment of insight traveled through the city like a spark, bringing new hope and ideas to places that needed it most. After the city meeting and the loud discussions, Greenlight Tech's workers walked home with tired smiles and full minds. The big event was over, but their thoughts kept spinning. Maria sat by her window that night, thinking about all that had happened. She felt both proud and afraid. For the first time, she understood how her voice, quiet but real, could help a whole city listen and change. Jake also walked outside to clear his head. He remembered the fear they all had in the past, afraid no one would listen, afraid they might fail, afraid to trust others. Now, he realized those fears did not disappear, but working together made everyone less afraid. Tom stayed late at the office, writing in his small notebook. He wrote, "Listening is not easy, but today I saw it works. I want to keep trying." The next days at Greenlight Tech were busy. There were more calls for help than ever. Families from every street asked for advice or a little hope. Some called just to say thank you. Others brought tough questions, and a few shared new worries. Community groups, churches, and schools wanted to learn how listening circles could help them, too. Maria, Jake, and Tom started to visit different places, sometimes together and sometimes alone. They told stories of small wins. They taught others to take turns in speaking, to say, "Thank you," for shared ideas, and to use new energy-saving tools not just for saving money, but to work together for a stronger city. Problems did not disappear overnight. Sometimes wires broke or plans went wrong. Bills were still hard for some people, and not every boss wanted to listen. But now, changes were growing beyond the little company. With every step, more people learned that real teamwork needs time, patience, and open ears. At City Hall, leaders met again to talk about the new rule on teamwork. Old arguments returned. Some officials liked the rule, but others said it was too hard to watch every company and ask every worker. The mayor shared his own lesson. Real change takes everyone's effort, or it fades away. He pushed for more meetings that used the listening circle idea. Soon, other businesses made their own groups, letting even the quietest workers share thoughts. Kids at school made paper signs. Every child counts, and please listen to me. Teachers noticed more smiles, fewer arguments, and ideas from students they never heard before. On TV, people talked about the city in a brand new way. News stories showed children turning off lights to save power, parents teaching each other about smart sensors, and teams building plans as a group. Even with worries and mistakes, the reporters found more hope than pain. Greenlight Tech became a well-known name, but the workers stayed humble. Maria told a news reporter, "The real win is not bigger business. It's a house full of light and a team full of trust." Still, some problems stayed. Not every home could buy the newest energy tools, and some leaders felt nervous sharing control. Fighting old habits was harder than the team expected. But now, when struggles struck, the city was not silent. More people stood together, ready to listen. The small wins had trained the whole community to try, fail, learn, and share. Those once left out now stood at the front of the line, holding open the door for others. Change did not fix everything, but it felt real and possible. The people learned patience for slow progress, ready to build new solutions with time. In the quiet after all the noise, Maria, Jake, Tom, and their friends took a moment to rest and think deeply. They saw their journey had changed not just their company, but their city and even themselves. They believed the tools of listening, shared power, and hope could grow anywhere. As they looked toward tomorrow, they understood that real action starts with one brave voice, and real change grows when every voice joins the song. In the weeks after the big city meeting, changes started to spread through every street and business in town. Families, schools, and companies felt the effects in different ways. Some people felt hopeful and worked faster, while others felt worried or confused about what would happen next. At Greenlight Tech, the team spent long days helping new customers who wanted to save energy and learn better ways to talk with each other. Maria, Tom, and Jake began training a second team for visits to schools and churches. Their phones rang all day, not just from people wanting new sensors, but also from workers asking for advice on how to begin their own listening circles. Families without a lot of money sought changes in simple ways. The city started a program to give smart sensors for free to homes where bills had always stayed too high. Volunteers visited older people, checking wires, and teaching them how to use the new tools. Some houses held group meetings in living rooms or backyards, inviting friends and neighbors to talk about their hopes or worries. Even children joined by writing lists of their ideas for a cleaner, brighter home. For the first time, people who used to stay silent spoke up, trusted their thoughts, and asked good questions. Businesses in town had to change fast. Some made new rules. Every team meeting must let each person share, and even bosses had to listen without interrupting. Not everyone liked it. Old leaders sometimes frowned or left the room, still wishing for the old way. But younger workers, women, and people from different backgrounds now felt braver. In a few offices, workers showed a red card if someone talked too much or forgot to be kind. After every meeting, people clapped for new ideas, big or small. The city government faced its own problems. At first, there were not enough experts to check every company or run energy meetings. The mayor called for more volunteers and opened up City Hall to any group wanting to try the listening circle. Some rules were hard, like asking big energy companies to show their bill costs in a simple chart. A few companies left the city, but others arrived, saying they wanted a chance to grow in such an open, hopeful place. Schools showed quick changes. Teachers, who once felt lost in big classrooms, started sitting in circles with their students. Nobody talked over anyone. Even shy students raised hands and shared. Some classes made group plans for school gardens or art walls, learning teamwork step by step. For some, the aftermath was tough. A single mom named Melinda worried about keeping her job since some bosses were slow to understand the new plans. But with help from her church group, she learned how to ask for support and share her work problems at group meetings instead of hiding them. Her kids also learned to help at home. After school, they turned off every light and talked to neighbors about how to save power together. Tom, Maria, and Jake felt tired but grateful. After work, they sometimes met at a cafe, sharing news stories, worries, and dreams. Jake read a message from a family who could finally buy school books, thanks to lower bills. Maria helped a local school win a small grant after teaching teachers about teamwork. Tom fixed a neighbor's heater and waited, smiling, while the family practiced their new listening circle for the first time. Old problems did not just disappear. Bills still rose for some, and a few people acted angry or gave up easily on the new way of talking. But now, even the slowest changers saw that listening and teamwork brought real help, even when life was hard. The city grew a bit closer, learning that the best power was the one they built together. Every small act, new plan, or honest talk became one more step on a hopeful path. As months passed, reforms in green light tech and the city began to feel normal. People started using teamwork and listening circles in daily life. In many workplaces, group talks before starting projects became a regular thing. Employees shared ideas with less fear. Maria sometimes received calls late at night from workers at other companies. They asked for tips about getting everyone to join in or how to help bosses who still struggled with old habits. Tom started leading Saturday workshops at the local library, showing parents and teens how to make smart plans to cut energy costs while practicing listening skills. Some workers earned small bonuses from their companies as a reward for sharing new solutions, which helped their families afford simple things like needed repairs or extra groceries. Neighborhoods looked different, too. More front porches glowed with soft light in the evening. Families went block by block, knocking on doors to leave friendly notes with tips on saving electricity or how to start community group meetings. Churches held monthly gatherings for anyone to bring questions, ask for help, or report something unfair. There was less gossip and fewer angry arguments because people remembered to take turns talking and not to judge right away. Fierce debates sometimes broke out, especially in bigger businesses, over how much freedom workers should get or how to split savings from power bills. Still, the overall tone of debates grew softer and often ended with a handshake or a plan for another meeting. School life reflected the city's new mood. In classrooms, teachers trusted students with small leadership jobs. Kids took turns running class discussions or leading cleanup crews. Some made posters about teamwork and saving energy and hung them in every hallway. Friends who once felt alone because they did not speak loudly now found welcome in group projects. There were still problems, like not enough art supplies or times when someone would talk too much. But teachers taught new ways to work through challenges instead of ignoring them. Economics in the city also changed. Energy bills dropped for most families, so a bit more money stayed in each home. Several small stores sprung up, run by families who used their savings to start something new. Other cities began to watch closely, sending teams to learn from Greenlight Tech and its people. New companies in the tech world wanted to hire workers known for teamwork instead of just computer skills. However, these changes brought fresh worries. Some people argued that too much talking could slow down work when emergencies appeared. Old leaders sometimes blocked new ideas, worried about losing control. And with the economy changing quickly, businesses now face the question, how could fair teamwork and smart tools stay affordable if the city grew too fast? Outside the city, regions still facing old barriers looked to the city with both hope and doubt. Some local governments tried listening circles, but gave up too quickly when debates grew tense. In the original city, a few families felt left out if they did not understand new technology. Jake visited one family who was still afraid to try listening circles because their culture valued quiet respect for elders. He listened and helped the family find a smaller way to join, reminding them that all steps mattered, no matter the pace. Debate about fairness continued in the news. One week, a reporter wrote that big companies might use fake teamwork just to look good. Another questioned if energy tools were truly safe for everyone. Still, every month the mayor met with community groups to hear fresh concerns, trying to grow trust one meeting at a time. Maria, Jake, and Tom welcomed the slow but real wave of change, helping others find their voices and reminding everyone that a strong city is built on many hands and louder listening hearts. After so much change, life at Greenlight Tech and in the city became both simpler and stronger. The team looked back on the long journey with real pride. Where once meetings were filled with silence or angry voices, now people asked questions, listened, and tried new ideas without fearing a mistake. Maria, Jake, and Tom sometimes walked through neighborhoods together, watching children play under lights that stayed on because energy was used smarter and cheaper. Families now held meetings where everyone got a turn to speak, from young kids to grandparents. Small businesses posted signs, "We listen here," inviting both customers and workers to share their thoughts openly. The company itself changed too. Training new employees always included teaching how to use listening circles and respect other voices. When problems came, The team expected to find a solution together. Jake started keeping a bright ideas notebook at the front desk, where anyone could write a suggestion for work or for the city. Maria visited schools to share their story, so students understood that even small voices have power. Tom often went back to his old fears, but now he was brave enough to help people like him, showing how nervousness can become hope. The leader set up a support team so every person in the company had someone to talk to, and everyone, even quiet workers, got regular feedback and support. As time passed, the city saw real long-term solutions beginning to take root. The mayor started a city listening day each month, inviting anyone to join group discussions about new rules or problems. This helped leaders learn from families, teachers, workers, and business owners about what worked and what still needed to be fixed. More schools, churches, and social groups practice fair listening and teamwork in their own way, often changing old traditions just enough to fit the new spirit. People learned hard lessons too. It was now very clear that real change takes more than a new rule or a fancy tool. Teams need time, care, and trust to grow. Maria often reminded new coworkers that every success started as small steps, just trying to listen, sharing ideas, and helping someone feel welcome. The city learned to notice warning signs, like when workers or students fell silent or stopped sharing problems. Now, there were simple check-ins at work, at home, or in the classroom, so that no one was left feeling alone and small. The power of asking, "How can I help?" or "What do you think?" became part of daily life. Social and economic policies changed too. Community voices shaped city budgets, making sure new tools and training reached poorer families and old neighborhoods. Energy saving became more of a team effort for the whole city, not just a business plan. When problems like rising bills or broken equipment came up, solutions were found together, not handed down by one boss or leader. As a result, trust in leaders slowly grew, because people saw their own ideas and worries shaped into action. Looking far ahead, Greenlight Tech's greatest lesson was simple. Listening, teamwork, and courage to speak up are not just rules for work, they are the roots for a strong, fair city. Everyone plays a part. If each person reaches out, asks questions, and listens kindly, workplace problems grow smaller, whole communities shine brighter, and the future feels full of good chance and hope.